Today we're going to get this door installed. I know I still have to get the T111 on and I have to do some other stuff, but I need to resize this door opening, so I wanted to include that in this video and not just show me slipping a door in and put some screws on, because this may be something that you run into. The door that I picked up, I got a great deal on. It's more door than this shed deserves, but I got such a great deal on it, it's going in. Hi everybody, I'm Jim Dierdorf and this is Detroit DIY. Let's get this opening cut to the right size. So here's what we've got. The bottom plate for the wall they left in place for the old door. In fact, they just nailed a door stop to it and called it good. It's a little bit rotten and it needs to be removed anyway. So I need to put a new stud in right here, and then this will be my king. My jack will be right here. So my shelving is a little bit in the way. I'm going to have to remove the shelving brackets. Then I'm going to have to cut it right here, and I'm going to have to cut it right here, and then I'll be able to get my new stud in and then be able to work the door opening from there. The rough door opening is going to be 38 1/4, and the height is going to be 82 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and start getting some of this stuff cut out and get ready to get that new stud in there. It's important when you're resizing a door opening like this to either temporarily support the wall, the roof from the inside with a temporary wall, or in this case I'm leaving this in place. I'm moving out far enough. This is not in my way. The old door opening framework is not in my way. It is going to stay right there until I get this new 2x4 in, get it secured, and then I will be able to remove these. I do have to cut a few things out of the way here just for the window opening. No big deal, the roof will be well supported. But I do have to get this shelf cut loose. I'm going to switch over to a metal blade for these nails. I'm not sure what they are, but they don't want to cut. Most of this I'll just put back in. They have a block right here that I want to go ahead and take off now because it's going to be a little close once I get everything else in place. Now we're going to go ahead and get these two guys cut out of here, and then we'll be ready to go. So I've already got this one marked out, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Just enough room to get my 2x4 in there. I'm going to get this one marked out and do the exact same thing. With this stuff cut out of the way, I'm ready to cut and install my new 2x4 here. We want to make sure that's plumb. Earlier today when I took the door out, this will be the hinge side of my new door. I did go ahead and cut a section of this out and put this new 2x4 in, and it is plumb in there, so you can see how far out we are from plumb. All my measurements came from this plumb board here to derive these measurements here, so I'm hopeful that they're plumb. Let's get that 2x4 cut and get it in. 83 3/4, I'm going to cut it down. I've got it cut the length. Go ahead and see if she fits in there. I believe it's going to be a little snug, but we're going to be alright. The hammer and tap it in. I almost forgot something. Since I'm cutting this bottom plate out, I want to make sure that it's secured to the wall. I see one nail here, but I'll be removing that one when I remove this section of bottom plate. So I just want to run a couple screws through right into the rim joist. And that's not going anywhere. What I used there was 2 3-inch construction screws. I do not have a mark up above, but that's okay. I want to check this for plumb. It's pretty much where it needs to be. I might need to tap it around a little bit. If it is, I'm going to go ahead and secure this bottom. The top needs to move over ever so slightly. I do have a little room here, so let's see if we can get it where we need it to be. That looks perfect. Looks good. Smack between the lines. I'm going to use a couple of 3-inch construction screws and lock this into place. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing up here. With this in place, I'm ready to go ahead and remove everything I don't need, which we're going to start right here with this. I didn't think it would be much to get it off. This, and then I'm going to cut the bottom plate. I'll show you that when we get ready. I'll get this out of here, and then we'll go ahead and get this bottom plate cut. I want to go ahead now and get these cut loose from the bottom. and then they are ready to pull out. Alright, I'm going to be repurposing some of this. With the bottom plate out of the way, I'm ready to go ahead and mark out for the new height of the door so I can get that material in next. We're looking at 82 1/4. That is going to be tight. I'll get it marked out on this side and get this piece measured and cut and in here. I have this side in place. I'm going to go ahead, secure it, and then I'm going to get my square on here and I am going to get this side in place. You might be wondering why I use a lot of construction screws. 1, they hold tight. 2, I believe in them. 3, my shoulder is blown out and it just kills me to swing a hammer. I have to nail the siding on in a little bit, and when I'm done, my shoulder is going to be spent. Construction work takes its toll on you. My elbows had surgery, my shoulders had surgery. They're tired. That's not going anywhere. I can just see my mark, so I'm pretty sure we're close. I want to get this square on here. That is just not bad. I like it. I'm going to hook it up right there. Now I need to measure and cut my jack stud. This side unfortunately is not getting a jack. I just don't have the room to shift everything over that far. My new window is smaller than the old one, so I'll remeasure this, recenter it, and I'll go ahead and put them in where they need to be, the 2x4s in where they need to be for that window opening. I've got this stud sitting in place. I am going to go ahead and fix my shelves. I'm going to get my window opening taken care of, and I am going to put my T111 on. I do have to extend the sill out down here off of the bottom. I'll come back and show that, and I'll do that before I put the T111 on. It's getting late, guys. This is going to be the last thing for the day. My new door has a brick mold on it, and that brick molding sticks out 1 inch. and the tread also sticks out 1 inch. So by putting this 2x4 right here, I'm going to put it flush with this plywood and make certain that it's level. When I put my 5/8 siding on, my tread is going to sit just about 1/16 of an inch past this, and that's going to be perfect. I just want to check this for level before I finish screwing it in. It is really good. I'm going to call that good enough. I'm finally ready to get this door in. It's about 5 o'clock. This has been a rough day. This kind of kicked my butt a little bit. I'm here by myself. I'm not positive how I'm going to do this, so it might look like a little bit of a cluster, but I'm going to get it in there. I'm going to bring the door up here on my hand cart and kind of lean it up against, hopefully set it on this cardboard, take my hand truck out from under it, get my silicone down on my base, and lift the door in. That's my plan. That's plan A. I have plan B if that doesn't work. Let's get it over here. There we go. Now we have to get the dolly out from under it, and I think I'm going to use these 4x4s to assist me in doing that. Once I get the dolly from out behind it, I'm going to push this 4x4 up further to help me slide it in. So far, plan A is working. I'm going to be using 100% silicone down here for the tread. There's a couple of areas down there that are nice and flat. I measured them out before I brought the door down here and marked them on the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and get some caulk down there, and then we'll try and get this set in there. Here we go. Maybe. God damn, this door's heavy. There we go. Yes, there it is, guys. All right. That's a good feeling. That's one heavy door. There's a little plastic tab in here that's holding the door from opening. So I measured that before I put this in to make sure that I could pop it out. This door is not really designed for a 4-inch wall. It's more designed for a brick wall. It's about 7 inches. But it doesn't matter. It's a shed. The jam's going to be sticking out some inside. That doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and get this pushed out, and we'll start getting it installed. I have 2 screws here with 2 shims just sitting together. 2 screws here with 2 shims and 2 screws here with 2 shims. Let's talk about this door real quick. I have to make an adjustment because, as you can see, we're a little tight at the top and we have a little bit too much of a gap right here. So I need to adjust this side back over that way just a little bit, and hopefully it'll correct that. Now this door I got for $99. This was in the clearance section at Menards. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this door. Not exactly the look that I wanted, but for 99 bucks I wasn't going to pass it up. If we need to, we can paint it a different color, maybe more like that door up there to match that, or the color of the door of the house, which is a little bit lighter than what the rest of everything else is. But for me, for 99 bucks, guys, check the clearance section at Menards. You can't go wrong if you need a door for a shed or something like that on the cheap. This was an excellent deal. I'm going to go ahead and pull one of these shims. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the 2 shims further in this top section right here, just to move that over just a little bit more and try and correct this problem. Alright guys, I've been working on this door for a little while. I finally got it where I'm happy with it. It took a little bit of shimming underneath on this side just to lift it up just a little bit, and quite a bit of shimming here. I had to remove almost all my shims here. In fact, I still have 1 screw to retighten, and then I just put my shims in here to match up with what the opening needed, and I got the door opening and closing nice. And that's kind of what it is just some fidgeting with it, looking at it, moving it around, playing with it, and eventually you will get this door where it meets up nice, closes nice, and everything's nice. I've got some weather moving in. I need to get this window in here, so I'm going to get that going on, and we'll see where we're at from there. Alright, it's a new day. It rained and rained and rained last night, a bad storm. But the door stayed closed without a doorknob. I'm great about that. I got my window in. I've been busy this morning. I've got all my electrical hooked back up, my new outlet in, my new outdoor cover. I got my spotlight up, and I have lights so we can see inside what's going on a little bit better. And we need to finish putting the shims here and the shims down there and getting it screwed in. I do have one little issue. It is bowed out a little bit right here, and if I push that into place by hand and close the door, everything looks fine. So I would like that to be tight against the building. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't know if this has maybe got a little kick in it, or if the wall of the shed has a little bow in it. But we'll work through it. I'm going to clamp that in place before I put the screws in. So we're going to get moving on this and get it done. I'm going to start with 4 shims. I have them stacked together where they're like this, so the thick to the thin, and the same thing here. And then this one I can pull in and out to vary the thickness. So I just want to get them stuck in there. I want to get them firm in there so that I can get it adjusted to where I want it. Sometimes they're a pain because the top will tip in on you and you'll have to kind of retrieve them. So there's 3 shims in there right now and they're pretty snug. So what I want to do is close the door and make sure that this is straight just by checking the reveal once the door is closed. So the reveal is really nice. The gap is very consistent all the way down. I am happy with that. I am going to pull that outside in, and then I'm going to get 2 screws in through them shims. I have a 4x4 right here that I've set up against the wall, and a bar clamp just pulling this door frame in nice and tight. Now what I want to do is I want to put the bottom screw in first, because it'll have the tendency to spin the shims, and if I put the top one in, it'll spin them in where I can't get a hold of them. By putting the bottom one in first, it may spin the shims out, but I can easily push them back in. I do not want to fully tighten this screw. I just want to run it through the shims and get it started into the wood. Right there is where I want it for the minute. Then I'm going to take a visual on these shims in here, and I can already feel that it kicked them out when I put the screw in. So I'm going to push them back into place. Alright, with my shims pushed back into place, I'm going to put another screw right here. So now I am going to go ahead and run these tight and then check the gap. With those securely in place and pulled tight, I'm going to go ahead and close the door, check my gap before I move on to the bottom one. Alright, let's see what we got. That looks really good. The reveal is the same all the way. I'm going to go ahead and get a couple screws down here doing the exact same thing, and then we'll get some hardware installed. The first thing I'm going to do is install the strike plate for the door. They give you 6 shorter screws like this, and then they give you 2 longer screws. Those 2 longer screws go here for the deadbolt, and they're intended to screw into the 2x4 that's behind. I don't have that. This is not a high security area. I've never had any issues. We want to make sure we get these screws started center. And just like that. Now with the 2 longer screws, we're going to go ahead and get the deadbolt clasp in. There we go. Next screw. With them installed, we can start putting the hardware in the door. That's not going to be quite so easy. There's a little work involved there. So as you can see here and here on the door, they did not cut this out for us. So when we slide this in here, it's not going to recess, and it's going to hit and the door will not close. So we're going to have to mark this out, get it centered up right, mark it out with a pencil, and we're going to have to remove that material. So what I want to do, the hole is way bigger than what this needs to be. As you can see, it's kind of sloppy, but you want to center it in the door so that you have equal amount of material left on each side. Try and center it up and down, kind of hold it in place there. I have a very sharp tip on my pencil so that I can get a nice line around this, something just like that. Now I'm going to take my razor knife and I'm going to cut around this edge. I am not going to make the corners rounded. And you need to cut in there fairly deep. Careful not to cut yourself. Nice control here, a little patience. Once I finish cutting this down and getting it deep, I'm going to take a wood chisel and clean it out. So now with a small wood chisel, I'm going to start working this out. I just want to say that this is also in the package, and what this will do is slide into here. You can take your doorknob apart and you can utilize this instead of doing this. However, there is no amendment like this for the deadbolt, so this will have to be done there. Also, in my opinion, I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. It's a lot easier in the end. If you switch out doorknobs or whatever, it's a lot easier. It's not that these are difficult to take apart, but I just like this better. So let's start scraping this out. And we're just going to keep doing this and work this material out of here until we gain that depth for it to sit into. With both of our latches fitting the way they're supposed to, now we need to adjust the length. This needs to be in the center of the hole, and these are adjustable to two different lengths. So we have these little pins right here that we lift up, and then this whole thing will slide out and become longer. So now we slide this back in here, get it set into place. You can see we are now in the center. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. And this one adjusts by turning it. So just like that, one full turn. Now we can go ahead and get our doorknob in and our deadbolt in and check our closure. So the doorknob will only go in one way. It is designed like this, and that is going to situate your key straight up and down. Now before we tighten these up, I want to go ahead and get those 2 screws in here. Okay, with the doorknob secure, we want to go ahead and check its function. Close it. We are good to go. Let's get this deadbolt installed. It's basically the same thing. A couple of screws are going to hold it. I got off track a little bit right here. Not the end of the world. I'm going to get my screws in here. I'll get this all started in, get my screws in, and button this up. The only thing left to do is to caulk right here and on the other side. There's still some moisture here, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to let it dry. The sun's trying to come out, so that should dry up nice for me, and I'll get it done in a little bit. This project was a little bit of a struggle to do by myself, but we got it done. Maybe not as quick as we could have if we had someone else here, but irregardless, it's done. The door's in, and it's in right, and it's installed nice. If you enjoyed yourself, click on one of those 2 videos. They're going to pop up next to me. And remember to always respect the power of your power tools.